finished watching episode 3 of The Penguin on Max, and damn, this show just keeps getting better and better and better. At the top of the stream, I had said that I wanted to see way more of Vic, way more Sofia, and get to see some of their dynamics with the Penguin, and I think we got that entirely. Like, all of the things I asked for, we really got to see in this episode, and it had me really pumped. Like, I was really excited about that. This show, and this show just continues to show the dynamic of not only Gotham, but all of the citizens within Gotham. I also wanted to see that POV from Vic, the backstory of how he got to be where he is now. And we got to see that. And that was just a grand, like, that was beautiful. Like, that was a beautiful, like, of course, it was terrifying, and it was just really, like, it was very creepy, but it was a beautiful way to let us see how messed up, like, Vic has become because of everything that was happening. And I think I did kind of, I don't know if I never really thought about whether he got his, I don't mean to say got his stutter, but whether the stutter had came from that traumatic experience that he went through with the flood, because for some people, something very triggering like that can just change you for the rest of your life in many different ways that we don't know. But it also, we find out that he's had the stutter, and his family comes from, his dad definitely was like, that OG vibe of, y'all, we've came from nothing, and what we have now, that's everything. And I love that. We got to see a little bit of his family, which was great, seeing that dynamic of his family, seeing him and his sister trying to push his father to kind of get more and do more, and then he's like arguing with his family. That's the last time that he sees them. Like, the last time that Victor saw his family, he was arguing with his dad about, little things, about things that really aren't that important. And his dad, we find out that his dad, like, does not like gangsters or anything that has to do with anything gangster like, and it also gave us the that realization that, I think his name was Calvin, but the kid that Sofia killed, the kid that Sofia Falcone killed, was actually, his name is Calvin. Calvin was actually really his friend. Like, they were friends, they were boys. They knew each other before all of the stuff went to hell. And that's very sad. Like, that's very sad. He knew him so much so that his parents even knew who he was. Like, that's heartbreaking to find out that Calvin was his dog like that. And then they ended up smacking him. He doesn't know that yet. And I'm pretty sure that will obviously raise some issues in the future if it does come out. But still, like, that was just cold. And we also find out that Calvin's brother is a gangster as well. So I'm wondering if that's going to show up in the future. I honestly thought when he was playing the bagman in the episode, and when he was in the club doing the bagman thing, I thought he was going to serve drugs to the brother, and I was going to be like, oh, it's about to go down at this point. But that didn't happen, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, I just love seeing that other side of Victor and seeing how his family dynamic was, how he actually loved his parents, and he loved his sister as well, and he had a girlfriend, has a girlfriend, whatever you want to say, and he loves her, and there's all these things that were just going on in his life, and everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, like it. And then to see how much that actually has a effect on his psyche when he's just in the club, and then the lights turn on and he's immediately into that PTSD, like he's in that PTSD moment quick, fast, and in a hurry. And that was crazy to even, it just was crazy to see that happen. We find out that the drug that Sofia Falcone and her brother were going to be working on together is actually Sofia's drug. And she's now working on it with the Penguin, and this drug is called Bliss. And I loved everything about that setup. Like, we got a good setup in last week's episode of seeing her with her therapist, and then sleeping in her closet, and because of all the shit that's going down, and then boom, boom, here we are. It's now a completely different version of what we expected it to be, and I love that. It's definitely that mobster vibe. So if you guys have watched like The or The Sopranos or The Wire or maybe even like Sons of Anarchy or all those different mob shows, it definitely has that vibe to it. You know, that mobster vibe, that gangster vibe. You know, and that is amazing. I love uh, that not taste, but I love the little flakes that they sprinkle on top of it that just kind of brings it to that next level. Um, the dynamic between Sofia and Penguin is actually one that I want to delve deeper into quite a bit. I had no idea that they were like locked in like that, but hey, they are locked in like that, you know? Like we find out that nah, they're rocking, like they're rocking for show for show. And Oz used to be her driver. The Penguin used to be her driver. That's a crazy thing to have a realization of. And it also gives us that realization that, well, the Penguin lies about everything. Like, Oz has honestly lied about almost everything that has come out of his mouth. I don't know if I feel like we're going to continue to go through this show and find out that everything he told Vic or everything he told someone has been a lie. And I think even last week I had made the note of saying that it seems like Vic is the only person that he has not lied to. Well, surprise! No, we find out that he actually did lie to Vic in this episode. So he is just a habitual liar, and he will say whatever he needs to say to whoever it is to get whatever he wants. But to circle back around to the drug product that they have going on, it was really cool to see kind of the background of that, that operation, and to see how they're like actively doing these things with it. And they're like, oh no, it's not the shrooms, it's the things on top of the shrooms. Like, all of that worked really well together. And I definitely was going for like toxins. Like, immediately I thought about Scarecrow. Like, that's immediately what I went to, which was like the Scarecrow spray. But when we see it, it's this liquid thing, and it's like on the shrooms, and they have a chemist guy that's handling all this stuff. Like, what a dope way to kind of incorporate these different aspects of the world, and it gives us way more context of what's going on within the Penguin. Also, like, we got to see the drop operation from the Penguin's POV, and now we're getting to see the Bliss operation from Sofia Falcone's POV, and it's great, man. I really appreciate it, and I love the way that Sofia and Penguin's dynamic works. Like, they actually do play off of each other very well with the things that they say, and they're thinking on their feet, and they're doing the things that they need to do, and I can't wait to see how all of this comes out, right? They once he comes in on the operation, he basically brings he brings her in on all the stuff that he was doing with Johnny Vitti, right? So he then kind of ruins the whole Johnny Vitti thing that was going on between him and the Maronis, but he's also building this new relationship with Sofia. So he really will just snip, nip, 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 nip. He will do whatever he has to do to keep the ball rolling and to keep those cards going as well. And I really appreciate that from the Penguin, because he is he's always on his toes, he's always thinking, and I said this at the top of the stream too, he's playing 3D chess and everybody else is playing checkers. But everyone is watching him like, bro, you think we don't know that you're playing 3D chess? You know what I mean? And then I love the way that the Maroni woman comes up at the end and was about to murder them. Like, she was about to just take him out, right? Like, it was about to be dunzo. And that was a crazy thing to see. Like from, like, she pulls up and she's just like, you think you can play us? Like, we've been watching you, my guy. Like, we know what you're doing. And that was crazy to see. Especially from Vic's POV, as he's just kind of chilling there. And he just looks over and he's like, what the hell? Oh my God, I have to do something, right? Like, I just love that. I love that. And he thinks on his feet the way that the Penguin told him that he needed to. Like, just a really good way of mixing all of these different ingredients together and giving us yet another solid meal coming from the Penguin, man. This show continues to be very it continues to be very different, but also be very familiar as far as it goes. Like I said, with the Sopranos or The Wire or any of those like gangster crime shows, it has a very good element of that moving on. and moving throughout it, and it makes it very intriguing. But then it also has that DC effect to where you're like, okay, is this gonna be what? Like, is this drug going to make people go crazy? Like, is everybody about to turn into zombies? You know, everyone is like asking those questions too. But it's obviously they want it to be way more grounded take on things. So I am expecting the drug to do something, but I don't know if it's gonna go as far as like, you know, like not Joker toxin, but the Scarecrow toxin or anything like that. I don't think it'll go to that level, but I do think it's something that will cause issues and cause problems throughout the duration of this show. It was dope to see our guy Vic, you know what I mean, be able to talk to his girl and actually be a person for a while. That was cool. That was dope. I love that. I love seeing Vic being himself and not being just 100% terrified all the time. And you know, he even tells his girl, he's like, you know, I'm not sure if I can even leave because I'm rocking with this gangster dude, and if he does something, you know, I'm probably gonna die if that's what happens. Like if I screw up, or if I try to leave, if I tell him I want to go, he's probably gonna murder me. You know what I mean? And then later on, you know, later on, we see that it's like the complete opposite. He's like, bro, you think I'm trying to murder you, bro? Like, what do you mean? You know, he's been watching him all day. He knows something's going on, you know, and he sees like he's trying to run away, and he's like, man, we're right here. We're on the brink of success, and that's the thing that I think I appreciate about Oz as well, is that bro does want to share the fame. He does want to share the fortune. He does want to share the love. You know, I love that. Like it was so dope. It was so dope to see how he just doesn't feel that way. You know, he's like, yo, Vic, I'm trying to teach you the game, bro. What are you talking about? And he's terrified. He's like, you think I'm holding you at gunpoint? Let me show you what it's like to be held at gunpoint. You know? And he's like, yo, I can't leave. Like, bro, I can't leave. He's like, bro, what? What? Look at it. Look at the disrespect in his face. Like, he feels so disrespected. He's like, bro, you think you're my prisoner here? No, you can leave, brother. Like, I don't want you to be here if you don't want to be here. Ah, man, it's just such a good gangster. It's a good gangster show because it gives you that other side of things, right? You're rooting for the bad guy because he's the main character. And you want to see you want to see him do these things. You want to see him win. You want to see him get shit popping, and you want to see Vic go to the dark side a little bit. It's just what the show is built around. And I love that we got to see Vic he did go to the dark side a little bit. I think I asked before if we thought Vic was going to catch his first body in this episode, and guess what he did? Vic got his first body, bro. So like the Penguin even ends the episode saying it. We are in it now, Vic. Like, we're in it, bro. We're in it. Like, ain't no going back. Ain't no going back, baby. You know, ain't no going back. And again, it was also really dope. I love the way that Penguin just starts spazzing out when people talk down to him. Like, he's like, bro, you think you can just talk to me any kind of way? You think you can just speak to me however you want to? Like, bro, I don't care who you are. I don't care what's going on here. You know? Crazy to see him lash out in this way and be this type of person. And this is exactly what he did to Sofia's brother, right? Like, Sofia's brother talked to him the same way, he did the same thing, and he ended up murdering him because of it. And she's like, just standing right there, and she's like, huh, interesting. You know? Interesting. And Sofia is not threatened by anybody. She cares nothing. Like, it's just very interesting, you know? And continuing on the dynamic between Penguin and Sofia, who in the hell is the hangman, and what was going on? Like, is Penguin secretly the hangman, or was someone else the hangman and they putting it on her? Like, you know, we keep getting these focal points of intrigue that we need further explanation on, and I love it because we got so many answers in this episode, and then it raises those small questions as well, like, hey, what's going on? Oh yeah, by the way, now that I actually think about it, did Penguin's girl set him up? Because she 100% left, right? She left, and then that's when the Maronis pulled up not too long afterwards. I haven't really trusted her from the start, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with her. I am very interested to see, because I don't think we see her again in this episode after she leaves. So, who knows what's going to be next? Who knows what's going to happen there? I don't know if y'all trust her or not. I don't trust her. But, you know, that's kind of the entirety of that episode, and I think that they handled everything fantastically here. I'm not going to lie. I think they did a really good job of paving the way for the future episodes and also giving us this just really good and concise way of just theorizing about things, getting answers, getting questions, seeing how Gotham is continuously ran for every level of Gotham, seeing Vic's level of Gotham here in this episode, and then seeing that the Sofia level of it, which is more of the mobster, the top brass mobster stuff, and then seeing Penguin's level, which is obviously the intermediate mobster. It's just a lot of different things and a lot of different levels. Yo, I appreciate you, Lavender, for the like on the TikTok. And it's just really good. It's just a really good blend of everything. And I had a fantastic time with this episode, and I hope you guys did too. Let me know how you felt about it in the comment section down below.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.